The Tennis Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by EdgeBoost. Ben Campbell for better. Sign up today. EdgeBoost.bet with the pro code SGPN to get a $25 deposit bonus. We're also brought to you by NYR Bets. Claim a $200 deposit bonus today by going to nyrbets.com/SGPN200, promo code SGPN200. And welcome, everybody, to the Tennis Game Podcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. It is currently Thursday evening around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on May 15th. I'm Rosso, Scott Reichel, once again going solo for this pod. Time to break down the two matches for Friday, the semifinals in Rome. Going to break those down in a little while. We're going to break down the matchup between Alcaraz and Musetti, as well as the matchup between Paul and Sinner. So you break those down. We're going to break down those matches in a second. For that, though, brief recap of how we did the last episode. Overall, a decent episode for us. Did lose the lock, but did win the dog. For the lock, picked up a loss with Hurkacz and Paul over 23.5 games at plus 102. Didn't know what the line was actually going to be at the time of recording, but it ended up being 23.5, so we called that right. But unfortunately, the match did go under. Had a breaker in the first set, and then Hurkacz got broken early and then could not break back. So either way, ended up losing by a couple of games there, landed 22. Was competitive, was hoping for a more competitive second set, but either way, picked up a loss there. Got the breaker prediction right, but unfortunately, we just could not get the same intensity for the second set. Picked up a loss on that one. For the winner, though, did end up having the dog win with the Musetti team total over 12.5 at even money. Definitely not easy, as he should have lost the first set. Came back down from 40 love in the 6-5 game. Was Zverev serving, came back and he won in a breaker that eventually did win in straight sets. So Musetti got the job done outright, but we did end up having the team total, and he got there as he landed 13. So once again, not a bad episode per se, but still looking for that sweep. So look for the sweep here in the semifinal matches on Friday. Checking out the actual, once again, discount that we have for the merch store before I move on into the, I'd say, greater in-depth recap of the quarterfinals. A reminder that we do have a current discount of 20% if you use the code DGENS at checkout. We have a brand new DGENS line of merchandise on the merch store. So when you want to actually go check out the merch store, don't forget to celebrate. We're taking 20% off everything in the merch store with the promo code DGENS. So use that code DGENS at checkout for 20% off everything in the merch store. Plus, a reminder, hit the like button, subscribe to the actual channel, and don't forget to leave a rating and a review on Spotify or Apple. So no matter how you consume the podcast, please leave some feedback and leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple to help the show grow. Anyway, moving on to the actual recap in greater depth of the quarterfinal matches. Starting off with the matches that took place on Wednesday. Pretty straightforward, but not really. So we saw Ruud beat Munar in the round of 16 match that was delayed to the day after, and Ruud won in straight sets. Then Alcaraz beat Draper 6-4, 6-4, not nearly as straightforward as the scoreboard might suggest. Alcaraz was down a break in the first set, came back and won. Then Draper had a bunch of breakpoint chances. He had a breakpoint chance in the 2-1 return game. He also had 2 breakpoints in the 4-3 return game. Did not convert either of those chances, then ended up getting boomerang broken to love the game after, and Alcaraz served it out. So Draper actually had a bunch of chances to win a set and maybe the match, but just blew every big opportunity, and Alcaraz eventually found an opening, ran through it, and got the win there in straight sets. The crazy match, though, is the Musetti match, because Musetti, I said a second ago, did win in straight sets by some, I'd say, miraculous feat, because he was down a break early in the set, got broken in the 1-1 service game, got the break back in the 3-4 return game, but he got broken again in the 5-5 service game, and then Zverev went up 40 love. So Zverev in the first set led 6-5, 40 love on his serve, had 4 set points, and he choked it. He blew the set. Musetti came all the way back, eventually won in a breaker, as he ended up winning, I believe it was 7-1 into the first set breaker. Then the second set was close. Zverev also had some chances there early, didn't convert. A couple of deuces, but nothing really that dramatic. But Zverev did have a break point in the first service game for Musetti in that second set. Didn't convert, then Musetti got the break on his only break point of the entire set, and then held it out as he ended up winning 6-4 in the final set. So nice job of Musetti, who we thought was alive to win the match. Thought that the price was too high on Zverev. It was a classic Zverev loss, where he looked like he was outplaying the opponent for about the majority of the set, And then next thing you know, he missed an opportunity. He had a chance to kind of put his foot down, and he choked in classic Zverev fashion. So pretty much what we've seen from Zverev's entire career. It's why he's never won a Grand Slam. When the lights are the brightest, he will fold more often than not. He did so in the first set of that match, and Musetti came back, took the opportunity, ran with it, won in straight sets. But a very fun match nonetheless. Cashed the dog play because of the team total over there for Musetti. Now, for the actual matches on Thursday, pretty straightforward. You saw the Hurkacz Paul first set end in extremely chaotic fashion because you expected a lot of holds in the actual match, and there was. I'd say relatively early on, at least, I'll put it this way. They did not serve that well early on. The second set was very straightforward. So Paul broke immediately. Then Hurkacz broke back in the 1-2 return game. Paul had love 40 the game after, did not break. Then eventually Paul did break in the 3-3 return game. Hurkacz broke back. Then Paul broke back. Then Hurkacz broke back. So you had 4 breaks in a row, which was probably not expected. And then eventually Paul did win in the breaker, 7-4. Then Paul broke immediately to start the second set as he went up 2-0. And then eventually you saw him hold out, no breaks the rest of the way. And Paul did win 6-3 in the final set. Nice job by Paul, though. I thought he would win. I know the money line exploded. I know it was like minus 180 when we actually capped it. I think it closed at like minus 250, give or take, but Paul definitely was the right side. Played better over the course of the match, and I was hoping Hurkacz would at least force another breaker, maybe even winning a set. Had a break point in the first return game of the second set, couldn't convert. And then you saw Paul break immediately and get the job done. So nice job by Paul. Got the win. Went for the over with Hurkacz, and it didn't work out. So picked up a loss there for the actual, I'd say, thoughts on that match. But either way, nice win for Paul. We'll see how he does in the semis because that's work cut out for him. Because you had the most lopsided match of the tournament, which nobody expected based on actual margin. I thought Sinner would win. I did not think Ruud would win one game in the entire match. I did not have that on my tennis bingo card. 6-0, 6-1. Ouch. Ruud won in Madrid, a 1,000 title, about 2 weeks ago. Sinner comes back after about 3 months off, not playing a tournament in 3 months, on clay. His least favorite surface. I know it's in Italy, but still not exactly known as being an elite clay guy. And he beat Ruud 6-0, 6-1. In absolute ass kicking. Nothing else to add there. Ruud, I thought, didn't even play that badly. It felt like Sinner was unplayable, and Sinner was just hitting every spot, getting every ball in play, and Ruud had no answers. But damn, Ruud got destroyed. It was a complete bloodbath. No way around it. Nice job by Sinner to get into the semis again. 6-0, 6-1's crazy. I mean, you figured he might struggle early in the tournament, then he'd figure it out as he went. He had a war against Cerundolo. It wasn't straight sets, but that was kind of what people expected, what I expected for this Ruud match. I thought it'd be close. I picked Sinner to win, but I didn't think he would win this easily, and it was over very quickly. So either way, point is Sinner got the job done easily, dropping one game in the entire match against a top 5 clay player in the world. And now we have a pretty fun pair of actual matches here for the semis. Now, reading the comment section, by the way, I see a couple of people stopping by. I see Matt in here. I see D. Johnson in here. I see Joe Dollar in here. Leonard, what's up with you, Leonard? I see Enigma stopping by, saying that Draper and Mensik got lucky that Sinner wasn't playing. 100%. I would blindly pick Sinner in every event he's in because he's the best player in the world by a mile, especially on hard court. He would have won Miami. I think he would have won Indian Wells too. Indian Wells, though, was an event where he's not had a ton of success in the past because the courts were a bit slower. Alcaraz had kind of run Indian Wells. But I do think based on current form, Sinner would have won both events because he's the best player in the world and he's elite on hard court. So I agree with you. But either way, nice job by Draper and Mensik. It's not their fault that Sinner got suspended. But with Sinner being back, the, once again, king of the ATP is back in town. And I know that Alcaraz is viewed on an equal footing to Sinner. I get the head-to-head has been working in favor of Alcaraz in the past. But based on recent form for the last year and change on, I'd say, any surface, Sinner is definitely the guy to beat. You could argue that on grass and on clay, Alcaraz has an edge. Maybe, but Sinner's found somehow an even higher level to reach, and he's already reached it. Beating Ruud 6-0, 6-1 on clay is absolutely insane. So I do think that Sinner is right now the guy to beat in this event. I know Alcaraz is still an elite clay player. He's won the French Open before. I get all that. But I think based on current form, I'll mention the actual path of Alcaraz and stuff in the semis. But the point is, I think that Sinner is playing the best tennis right now in the world. He would be my pick to beat for the sake of the remainder of this event. But nice job by Sinner to advance into the semis in his first tournament back in a couple of months. Now, looking at the actual quarter plays that we had in the outrights for the actual event, starting off with the first quarter, ended up winning. We had an auto win. We had Sinner at minus 115, and we had Ruud at 5-1. Of course, Ruud lost, but Sinner got the job done, minus 115. We will cash that. Second quarter did not win, as we ended up having de Minaur at 360, and we also ended up having Mensik at 8-1. Didn't work out, as Paul did win the quarter. Third quarter didn't work out either. Wasn't really close. Had Rune at 6-1 and had Dimitrov at 18-1. Faded Alcaraz off the injury, so I was going to dare him to show up. I thought that the pricing was too expensive, so I passed on him, and Alcaraz got the job done. But for the fourth quarter, did pick up an auto win. Had Zverev at 175, and we had Musetti at 360, and Musetti got the job done. So cashed a Sinner, minus 115, and a Musetti at plus 360. Not an amazing quarters episode, but definitely did not lose money, so it could be worse, but picked up a nice plus 360 payout there for the fourth quarter, and hopefully we'll keep the outrights rolling because we have a couple of people left in the semis. For the outright picks, we did lose Rune at 31-1, and we also did lose Ruud today at 29-1. However, we have Sinner at 225, and we have Musetti at 28-1. So there is a chance we get an all-Italian final, and we get an automatic winner in the outrights, either Sinner at 225 or Musetti at 28-1. So can't complain. 2 of the 4 guys remaining we have to win the event, so not bad. Hopefully, once again, one of our guys ends up cashing the outright for the event. But looking forward to the matches, should be pretty fun. That is basically it. Anyway, a point is time to move on into the breakdown of the matches for Friday, the 2 semifinal matches in Rome. Before we get to that, though, a reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor, which is EdgeBoost. They're the first ever bank account for bettors. They're ensuring that all gambling transactions are approved 100% approval. From deposits, no usage fees, and no imbalance. Also get hashtag rewards, 100% approval. Once again, so if you do want to use it to actually fund your betting accounts, you can do so, and you will never be denied. Plus, you can sign up today at edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. Deposit $25. EdgeBoost managed deposit. EdgeBoost.bet. Promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by NYR Bets because the Preakness is right on the corner. No better time to get on the action with NYR Bets. Sign up today with the promo code SGPN200. Score a $200 deposit match bonus. Don't wait. Head to NYRBets.com/SGPN200 to claim your $200 deposit match bonus now. Go to NYRBets.com/SGPN200. We're also brought to you by fans because they just want a new game mode, which is ladders, with the 500 times your entry. And a reminder you could do is use a bunch of different sports. You could use the tennis card. You could use the UFC, use the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, you name it. But when you sign up for your new account, use the promo code, which is SGPN, to go to special pick and a first time deposit offer up to 1K bonus cash on fantasy promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tennis Game Podcast. Finished going through the recap of the quarterfinal matches. Time to move on into the semifinal matches. Starting off with the first match on the card. This one should be the match of the event so far, as you have Alcaraz taking on Musetti. Should be a very fun one. Alcaraz is minus 286. Musetti's around plus 225. For the spread, minus 3.5, juiced at minus 130 for Alcaraz, plus 3.5 for Musetti at plus 102. The over-under is at 21.5. Now, if you want the 4.5, by the way, for the spread, you can get Alcaraz minus 4.5 at around plus 135. Now, for that history, they faced off in the final in Monte Carlo a couple weeks ago, and you saw Alcaraz win that one in 3 sets. Musetti got injured, and Alcaraz buried him in the final 2 sets. However, Alcaraz has won 4 in a row, so he's been quite good against Alcaraz recently. But I will point out that out of all the clay matches they've had 4 of them. 3 of the 4 did not end in straight sets, including the only meeting this year, which was in Monte Carlo, where Alcaraz won in 3. Now, for the path, Alcaraz has been winning, but he's been vulnerable. Had a breaker against Desir, lost a set to Khachanov, and had to win 7-5 in the 3rd set. The Draper match looked straightforward at 6-4, 6-4, but he was down a break in the 1st set. Didn't look great, and Draper kind of just failed to capitalize on every big moment. And Alcaraz, if you let him hang around, he'll burn you, and he did. So Alcaraz, I think, has been looking okay at the event. Not nearly elite, but he's been good enough to win, and I think he should look okay in this match here. But Musetti has been really, really good, and he's also in Italy, so the home country crowd advantage has been helpful for him. He has won every set, beat Virtanen, beat Nakashima, beat Medvedev, and beat Zverev, all in straight sets. Couple of close sets, though. Had a breaker against Zverev and had a 7-5 against Medvedev. Point is, though, he's been very good. The crowd has been very rowdy in favor of once again, Sinner and Musetti. So we'll see how the crowd plays a factor in this one. But the question is, should Alcaraz be, in my opinion, minus 300, give or take? I do not think so. I think Musetti's actually quite alive to win this match. I think Alcaraz, you could argue, is going to be the obvious pick because he's the best clay player in the world. But I think Musetti can definitely make it interesting. Alcaraz has left the door open on many occasions for Khachanov, for Draper, for a couple guys to win a set and more against them. Some have converted, some have not. But I do think that Musetti, based on consistency, is very dangerous. He looks very comfortable with the court coverage and the variety on the courts here. Alcaraz's unforced errors have been a problem in the event. He's gotten by it. The serve, though, has not been amazing. I think Musetti can definitely capitalize on the openings if Alcaraz leaves them available for him. And I do think Musetti can actually win. Might sound a bit crazy, but I think Musetti's actually very live to win this match. I think that minus 300 is very expensive. I think Alcaraz should be minus 200 in my opinion. I think Musetti should be around plus 150, plus 160. For the value, though, I'm going to go with Alcaraz to lose, at least based on the pricing. I think Alcaraz, once again, should win the match, but I think Musetti is definitely more live than the oddsmakers suggest. I like the over in this match, though. These guys really should kill each other. They went to 3 sets in Monte Carlo. That went over the actual total, which was definitely not an easy get because you ended up... Actually, did they get to the total? They did not. They got to 20. Actually, no, they did. They got to 23. So point is, that went over 21.5, even though you saw one game won by Musetti in the last 2 sets combined. I think Musetti is playing very well. We saw him beat Alcaraz on clay in Hamburg before. We saw him go to 3 sets in a challenger in 2020. Point is, every meeting besides the French Open meeting in 2023 has been a war, and I do think you're going to end up seeing a 3-setter here. Don't mind the over. Don't mind the over 2.5 sets, but I like Musetti to keep this interesting. I think it'll be a close matchup, but Musetti to win a set is minus 127. I kind of agree with that. I think Musetti will not go home empty-handed. He might actually win. But I do think Alcaraz is being drastically mispriced here. I think he's a bit overrated in the spot. I see Musetti team total over. I like it personally. I might mention that later on in the show. But I do think Musetti should be able to keep this close. I think he will force at least maybe a 7-5 or 7-6. Think he can definitely win a set, maybe in the match as well. But give me a very competitive matchup here to start off the semis with a banger on Friday morning. Moving on to the next match, you have Paul against Sinner, which honestly should not take that long to go through. For the actual pricing, Sinner is an insane favored price of minus 830. Paul's around plus 575. I saw FanDuel had like minus 1,000 on Sinner. For the game spread, minus 5.5 for Sinner at even money. Plus 5.5 for Paul at minus 127. For the over-under, I see 19.5. The over is minus 127. The under is even money. Straight sets, Sinner is minus 225. But the point is, you're expecting Sinner to kill this guy. Sinner team total over 12.5 is plus 102. The under is minus 130. For Paul, his is around about 8.5. So you can find the 7.5 or 8.5 for the team total. Juice there on the under for 8.5. Now, for the actual matchups, Paul has been decent against Sinner in the past. He's actually won a match, beat him on grass in Eastbourne a couple years ago. Faced off in the US Open last year. Sinner won the first 2 sets in breakers that eventually did win in straight sets. Sinner's won 2 straight meetings in straight sets. Faced off on clay, 2022 in Madrid. Sinner did win in 3, so it was competitive, but he got the job done. Now, Paul's been very good. I'm not going to roast him here. He's been good. Beat Hurkacz in straight sets, beat Demonauer in straight sets, beat Monkic in 3, beat Agut in straight sets. For Sinner, though, he has been destroying people. Beat Navone 6-3, 6-4, beat De Jong 6-4, 6-2, beat Cerundolo 7-6, 6-3, and beat Ruud 6-0, 6-1. Am I picking Paul to win? Hell no. I think Sinner's going to win. The question is this line disrespectful? Maybe a little. Maybe a little bit disrespectful. The fact that it's in Italy, though, is going to help Sinner out a lot. I think that Paul can make it at least somewhat respectable. A 6-4, 6-3 loss, something like that. I would not want to lay the 5.5 games. But if Sinner plays anywhere near as well as he played on Thursday in the match against Paul, he will kick his ass. I thought Sinner played as well as he possibly could play. We'll see how he looks in this one. Point is, though, Paul's been good, but beating Hurkacz, beating Demonauer, nobody compares to Sinner here. I think Sinner wins comfortably. I don't mind the potential maybe the under in games at 19.5 at even money, but I think I prefer the team total under for Paul. Paul could win a set. I mean, Paul can lose a set but win like 5+ games in a set and then get buried in the second set, and you still have a shot at it. So for me, not much value anywhere because he's minus 800, minus 1,000, give or take. But for this one, I will go with the Paul probably getting destroyed script here, but to keep it, I'd say closer than the odds makers suggest. So I am going to go with a pretty straightforward 6-4, 6-3. Paul loses, does not get his ass kicked like Rude did, but Sinner ends up winning with really no sweat attached to it at all. That's kind of where I'm going for this one, but nothing else to add there for the matchup. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the semis, and now it's time to get into the lock and dog plays for the show. For that, the reminder that we are brought to you by our sponsor Rhythm, because they are the home of Bet Picks and Brawls, also available for the NBA playoffs, the MLB Pro Market, and the WNBA, which does start tomorrow. You can also build your own model, very simple and easy to do. You can also try it out for free for a week by using the free trial they provide for you. They have 2 great discount codes available for you, though, depending on what plan you want. They have a monthly discount and an annual discount. Monthly discount, 25% off with the promo code SGPN25. The annual discount, 50% off the annual deal with the promo code SGPN50. That's Rhythm, promo code SGPN5, SGPN50. Sign up for the free trial, by the way, by going to sportsgamepodcast.com/RITHMM. We're also brought to you by MyBookie, because they are the place of every sport. They have the NBA playoffs, they have the NHL playoffs, they have tennis, UFC, you name it, baseball as well. They are available in 10 locations. Also use crypto for lightning fast payouts, easy deposits. And when you head to MyBookie with your new account, sign up with the promo code SGPN to get a 100% deposit match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Circa Ultimate Fantasy Football Giveaway, because Circa is giving away the ultimate fantasy football experience for a 12-person league to draft in Vegas and be treated like VIPs for your stay. 2-night stay at Circa Resort and Casino for the entire 12-person league. Draft at the Cabana, SADM Swim with a $5,000 food and beverage credit, limo transportation to and from the airport, a welcome party at Legacy Club for the league. And a reminder, contest available from May 5th to June 30th. Sign up, though, at the link, sportsgamepodcast.com/circa, sportsgamepodcast.com/CIRCA. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tennis Game Podcast. Finished breaking down the 2 matches for Friday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. For the lock, I found a team total on Paul at 8.5. It is juicy, but I'll take it. Give me Paul team total under 8.5 games at minus 148. I think that it's a great price considering the fact that FanDuel has the team total at 7.5. Every other book does, but I think 8.5 is actually a pretty decent number. It does basically give you extra, I'd say, edge if there was a 7-5 or 7-6. We saw that in the Gier match against Alcaraz, for example. I liked earlier in the event a team total under for De Gier at 8.5. It was 7-6, got buried in the second set. Team total under got there. Paul might get destroyed, and if that happens, we win anyway. I don't see Paul winning a set, but if there is a breaker, I can see Sinner still dominating at least one set, which might be all you need for this to cash. Sinner, though, has not dropped a set yet. Beat Rude 6-1, beat him only dropping one game in the entire match, 6-0, 6-1. Give me Paul team total under. It's juicy at minus 148, but I like it. I'll go with it as my lock. For my dog, give me Musetti team total over 11.5 at even money. Now, I understand that you could argue it's a better option to go for the over 2.5 sets or for maybe the games instead, but I think Musetti should win a set. It's kind of weird to me that Musetti to win a set is minus 127. But for him to win a set, he's probably going to end up with 6 or 7 because you have to in order to win a set. That means Musetti would have to win basically 6 or 5 games combined in the final 2 sets after winning one, and you're saving 27 cents? Sure. I think that's a great deal. I think Musetti is definitely available to pull off the upset here. I think he's in good enough form to shock Alcaraz. Alcaraz, though, has been vulnerable. Down to set to Khachanov, ended up having a tough first set against Draper. Has not been looking that sharp recently. And I think that you're looking at history repeating itself again. 3 of the 4 career clay meetings went to a deciding set. I see a close matchup here. I think Musetti with the home court behind him, not dropping a set in the entire event. The crazy atmosphere there in favor of the Italian. I think Musetti's alive to win it. I think that he can go over the team total even with losing. And there is, in theory, a way he could get to the team total while not winning a set. If you get 7-6, 7-6 in theory, unlikely, but still possible. Give Musetti team total over 11.5 as my dog at even money. So once again, the play today, here for the lock and dog, going to go with the, here for the lock and dog plays for the show, going to go with the lock being Paul team total under 8.5 at minus 148. For the dog, I'm going to go with Musetti team total over 11.5 at even money. It's going to wrap it up for the show. Back once again for the final in Rome. So once again, check that out tomorrow. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets.